Hey, it's Ricardo from Fireside Weekenders, and today the project is leak-proofing our roof. I'm pretty excited about doing this project because the RV is brand new. It's never been taken out yet. So it's a perfect time to do a little bit of preventative maintenance. As you know, this lap sealant typically starts to crack in about, I don't know, anywhere between 1 year to 3 years. So you typically have to do a good amount of maintenance, making sure that you're checking all of your sealant. I checked all the sealant when I picked up the RV. There was a few spots that were missing, and in the location that we put it here, it gets a good amount of sun. So being able to add the Eternabond tape on it will definitely help it prevent from cracking. It'll also prevent from leaks getting right to it. The lap sealant that's used on these is pretty good. It's the self-leveling stuff, but it requires maintenance. And not to say that the Eternabond isn't going to require maintenance later on, but it's just going to add another layer of protection against leaks. If you've been watching the channel, it's something that I'm pretty nervous about. If there's anything I can do to prevent that, then I'm definitely going to do everything I can. We are literally going to be using Eternabond on all of the edges. Basically anywhere that there is lap sealant, we're going to put Eternabond on it. That includes around the edges of the RV, including this edge right here that doesn't have too much lap sealant. I am getting leaks on the outside where the awning is. When it rains, the piece that holds the awning right here does get leaks right there. So I'm going to go ahead and put the tape right into it, so all the water runs right into the channel and it can't get behind this piece. I know when we were having a little bit of freezing rain, some water got into that and then it started getting below freezing temperatures, so I worry about that. So instead of going with the lap sealant, I'm just going to go ahead and tape the entire thing. We're going to do it in the front cap, the back cap, and all around all the protrusions on the roof, such as the air vents, the antenna, and any other spots that we find. I've never worked with Eternabond, just watched a lot of videos on it, so this is definitely do it at your own risk. I'm not telling you what to do. This is what we're choosing to do for ours to try to minimize the amount of leaks or any problems in the future. And also my hopes is that this will reduce the amount of maintenance that I have to do. I always recommend that you come up to your roof and check all these seals and everything. I would say if you're a weekend warrior, probably twice a year, at the beginning of the season, at the end of the season, because you never know what kind of damage could happen when you're camping while it's just sitting here. So to protect yourself, come up here as often as you can, but the bare minimum at least twice a season. So some of the tools that you're going to need for this project are some sort of cleaner for the areas that you're going to be doing this on. I chose to go with acetone. The Eternabond website does mention several different other products that you can use. I'll try to link that in the description below if I remember. Obviously a nice little rag to wipe that off with, and something to cut the Eternabond with. So scissors or a utility knife will work just fine. Make sure that when you're cutting this stuff, you're not doing it on the roof, because you definitely don't want to have any accidental punctures on the roof. These things are pretty sensitive. So Eternabond works off of pressure. That's really what activates the components inside to get a nice adhesion into the material. So they recommend that you use some sort of hand roller, but you can also just do it with your hand. We're not going to be using it in such a large area where we need, or I feel that we need to use a hand roller. I think the hand pressure is going to be enough. It certainly would probably make the job a little bit simpler. However, with these pieces right here, when you have a lot of curved edges and everything like that, I am going to use this little roller here. This is for screens, something that I had laying around, and that's why I'm going to use it. Other than that, I'm just going to be using my hand for pressure. Now, I did go ahead and purchase this straight off of Amazon. I ordered a 50-foot roll, so this is probably about a 21-foot trailer or so. Probably a little bit smaller where I'm actually going to be using it. So this hopefully should be enough, especially because I'm not going to be using the full 6-inch wide piece for everything. In some places I will, but like in this area right here, I'll probably go with a 4-foot section. Haven't really decided that yet. They sell this in different variations. You can get it in 2-foot wide, 4-foot wide, 6-foot, and it goes, I believe, above that also. Now, one thing to note when you're working with this is to not only take your time, but also work in small sections. Start with probably about a 1 foot or less, maybe 8 inches when you're working with this, because it is extremely tacky and it gets stuck to everything. They say that you can't take it off, but the website does say there is ways to be able to remove this stuff, and there's people that have shown that you can remove it. However, it is a pain. It is very difficult to get off, which is one of the reasons why this product is so good. When you're ready to apply it, work in small sections and make sure that where it's going to be touching, that's where you want it. Now for me, because I am going to be cutting this in half, what I'm going to do is measure the full length of piece that I need, and then I am going to cut it to that length, and then I'll cut it in half. All right, now that we have those pieces cut, what we're going to do is use the acetone to clean off the area. Now that we have this section cleaned off, the next step is to go ahead and start applying our Eternabond. So the Eternabond comes with 2 sides. The white side, that's the side that's going to be shown, and then the other side is the sticky side, the gray side. Now right now I can touch it because it's got a protective film on it. So what we'll do is take that film off in about 8 to 12 inch sections and start applying the tape exactly where we want it. So we just finished the first side going along the awning. It came out pretty good. I mean, my cutting wasn't very straight, but overall it was pretty simple, nice and easy. I was able to get it unstuck real quick in a couple of spots. Overall it wasn't too difficult. The bigger pain was moving the ladder everywhere we needed to go. All right, so now that we have the awning side completed, I cleaned this side off. We're gonna get the slide side taken care of with the Eternabond. Started with the front cap, and then we'll move over to the back cap. Now for those sections, I'm going to do the full 6-inch pieces, just because of how large the area is with the lap sealant. I want to make sure I cover everything on that. Alright, we've gone ahead and done the front cap. Now because we're already in the area, I'm going to go ahead and move to doing the antenna and maybe go straight to the back. We'll see. Doing these may seem a little bit tricky, which it is going to be. The other ones have been just a straight cut. Even the bends are pretty much just going to be a straight cut. But when we're talking about the bends, we are going to need to cut some half circles type of thing on it, which shouldn't be a big deal. The one thing that you don't want to do is throw out your scrap pieces, because if you get any rips, you're pulling into a campsite, you snag a couple of branches and it rips some of the roof, then using this is perfect because you already have it pre-cut and you don't have to go get the big roll or even carry the big roll. You can pretty much just carry the scrap pieces with you and cut it to size. So what I'm going to do first is cut out this piece right here, because that should be a little bit easier. That piece is pretty much a straight cut. Alright, so now we're going to do the circular vents that we have here for the gray and black tanks. I've decided not to do the air vents in the bathroom and the kitchen because they have the covers. That covers the spot pretty good where any water intrusion would kind of come in anyways. So it has lap sealant. I've already checked it when I did the install and everything's covered pretty good. The cover is going to prevent any of the lap sealant to deteriorate because of the sun or anything like that. Obviously, I'm still gonna do a check every once in a while for them, and maybe at a later time I'll go ahead and apply it there. But as of right now, I'm just gonna leave them be and see how everything else holds up. Alright, now all we got to do is do the second vent and we should be done for the day. That's all I have for today. Hopefully this will reduce the amount of maintenance that I have to do up on the roof. Obviously I'll still go up and check it every once in a while, but I won't have to apply as much or any sealant for a long time. They say that this stuff usually lasts about 18 years. Not sure if it does or not. If it does, great, but even if it lasted 5 years that I didn't have to go up and put sealant every year, I think it would be definitely well worth it. If you liked the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share the video, and we'll see you on the next install.